What's up YouTube, this is Ringo from EdSphere, and today we're gonna go over question 2, yeah? TOK 2018, question 2. Here we go. So, we know with confidence only when we know little, while knowledge doubts, with knowledge, doubts increase. Discuss this statement with reference to 2 areas of knowledge. Well, I mean, like I said, every time when we look at a question, we have to define the question. Okay, what kind of thing do we know? This is actually quite an easy question, in my opinion, because, you know, whatever terms I gave you was a lot more simple and straightforward. We know with confidence. Okay? Let's put the confident word there. Only when we know little, okay? So, lack of knowledge, okay? With more knowledge, doubts increase. I think that's pretty much it for this question. I mean, it's pretty much easy. You know, if you're gonna write this is an easy essay. I mean, if you're hoping to get an easy B, then yeah. I mean, if you want to get an A, I mean, you have to really develop it because, everyone's going to do this question. So how do you make your essay insightful? That can be slightly tricky. But I mean, safe bet is, the question. I mean, this question. So, lovely. Who takes psychology out there? I mean, yes, I'm a psych tutor, yes. Who heard of, who even have common sense there? So, I mean, think about things, knowledge as this. So, let's talk about knowledge. And let's write doubts. So this is my take. When we have an increase in knowledge, as knowledge increase, does doubt increase? Yes. It's going to go to a curve like that. It's going to reach this point where it's called a climax. Yes. Yeah, don't think too much about the diagram. So, what I'm talking about is this. With little knowledge, you don't have doubts because you don't know what you don't know. That's what I tell my students, Why is tutoring important? Because you don't know what you don't know. That's one thing. Why are school teacher kind of stubborn? Because they don't know what they don't know either. They've been teaching you guys for a whole year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They've been a teacher there. Who was there to criticize them? I mean, who was there to let them know what they don't know? Don't get me wrong, there are some very, very good teachers out there that, we talk to each other and then, we share ideas to understand, to build on our ideas. That's why some tutors, yes, I'm not promoting myself, but that is why some tutors is better than school teacher in some instances, because they teach a large variety of students and actually they can reflect on how their teaching is compared to different schools' teacher. So that's one thing. But I mean, there are some good teachers, don't get me wrong. So if you don't know, when you don't know what you don't know, then obviously you don't have doubts because, you don't even have the mindset or the creativity or the intuition or the ideas that you actually don't know something. But as you know more and more and more and more and more, so as you move up this curve, doubt starts to increase. Because you know more. You've learned about contradicting ideas. Okay? But then, it's quite interesting. For some discipline, it actually, if you are becoming an expert and you know more knowledge, the doubt actually decreases. While others, yes, the doubts kind of remain at a more curvature like that, or it might actually goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But but that's the main point. Is it always up or down? Is it a cycle? That's for you to think of an example to illustrate. So that's one thing. Oh, we know with confidence. Well, I mean, confidence has actually nothing to do with whether you know a lot or know a little, whether you have doubts. Confidence is just something that an individual have. I mean, where do confidence come from? I always ask my students, where do your confidence come from? How are you certain about something is certain? How do you know that this guy likes this girl? You know, is it observation? If it is, that's sense perception. Is it reasoning? Maybe. Is it intuition? Is it imagination? Is it memory? Is it emotion? The different ways of knowing is what's giving you the confidence. Where else can you get confident? I mean, do you get confident when a school teacher gives you an A, when you know that you actually wrote a crap essay, but they still gave you an A? But anyhow, so confidence depends on the ways of knowing. With greater ways of knowing, or with confidence, or when you believe that you have you trust some sort of ways of knowing, that's where your confidence comes in. Quite interesting. So let's go into the nitty-gritty of this. So the first point, like I've illustrated in the diagram earlier on, is I would say that it's more like a performance curve. The more knowledge you know, doubt increase, but after a while doubt could decrease, could stabilize, or could fluctuate. One of them. So it really depends on what? Depends on the knowledge itself. In areas such as mathematics and natural science, a majority of the time, with increasing knowledge, doubt actually decreases. I mean, when you know more and more and more about something in science, you realize that there is one answer. I mean, I know a lot of teachers tell you it's like, what, 1 plus 1 is not 2, 2 plus 2 is not 4. Well, I mean, yeah, some ideas are not like that, but mathematics often, with more knowledge, we don't have doubts. We try to finish, or we try to figure out the doubts by increasing our knowledge. That's where, science comes in, science research over time, they learn something new. So if you argue using natural science or mathematics, you rarely get doubt. I mean, doubt can exist as an intermediate step or intermediate area, but eventually, with greater knowledge, it will resolve itself. That's the notion in that area of knowledge. What about in the areas of human science, such as psychology? With more knowledge, does it lead to doubt? Well, frankly, not really. It doesn't lead to the idea of doubt, but it actually increases knowledge with the different perspective. Why is it that there's only 1 or 2, where 1 and 2 can equally exist at the same time? That's the thing. That's the thing about a lot of Hong Kong students, or a lot of education, is there must be an answer. There must be a model answer. So, I need to be able to achieve a model answer. Well, no, life is not like that. You can easily accept more than one answer. Why not? So the question here is that in areas such as, your human sciences or history, there could be more than one explanation. So with greater knowledge, it doesn't increase doubt, but actually it increases our acceptance of more knowledge. It makes us more confident that there are more than one answer. So have a little think about that one. So the next one, the twist here is that the knowledge, this is the mind F-king part, where knowing the wrong, is it really creating doubt, or are we creating certainty for things that doesn't work? You know, when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he said, I did not fail. I just find 9,000, whatever, how many times that it didn't work. Well, I mean, I think the same knowledge, you need to be careful. The same idea can be placed in here, where with greater knowledge, you're not creating doubts, you're just demonstrating that you just become more confident about the ways that it doesn't work. Okay? Well, yeah, do you see that connection? Yeah, you guys can talk about that. So, next, the notion of confidence also have nothing to do with knowledge. Like I said, knowing something more doesn't mean that you're confident, right? Yeah? I mean, technically, think of it this way. In year 9, year 8, year 7, do you know science? Yes, you know science. And do you know more science now? Chemistry, biology? Do you know more math now? I think you do. Are you more confident? Totally not. How many students come to me and say, oh my god, this is so hard. I mean, yeah, so greater knowledge, confidence has nothing to do with knowledge. That's what I'm trying to bring out here. The notion about confidence has to be the way of knowing that a person believes in. So, here is some ideas that, I haven't actually talked about in question 1 nor 2. Religion, faith, okay? You learn science in school, but many of you guys are so Christian. They're so Catholic. You guys still believe that humans are created by God, for example. Why? You've learned about Charles Darwin. You learned about evolution. You've heard about the Big Bang Theory. Why is it that some people is still confident in God being the creator of the world? It has to be with faith. Many people use their faith, and this faith is what gives them the confidence in what they personally believe in. Even with an increase of other knowledge about science, about other people with different opinion, it doesn't matter. Those knowledge, the increase in those knowledge did not shake the belief. Why? Well, because they have confidence in their faith. Think about it, guys. Sometimes, yes, greater knowledge confuses people, but sometimes some people just believe in what they believe in. If you're not religion and you don't want to write anything religiously related, same with any inventor. Any inventor, any creator of a scientific finding. The society never accepted it, but he or she continue on believing, having confidence in his research, despite of other knowledge which reflect doubts to what he wants to find out, or he or she, the scientist, wants to find out. So you really need to be able to think, does knowledge affect confidence? Does doubts, something along that line? No, it really doesn't. That's what I'm trying to say. So you could also argue that many inventors and scientists, that's where, I talked about that. This could be argued the other way as well, where doubts increases due to the lack of knowledge. So, this is another mind-twisting one, where even though the question says, we know with confidence only when we know little, with knowledge, doubt increase. I can easily says, we are confident when we can't find any alternative. And it's actually doubt. That is actually what is... Actually, with more knowledge, doubt decrease, I could say. The notion being that doubt increase, or the idea of doubt, why do you doubt something? It is the lack of knowledge. Okay? You have doubt about something because you don't have knowledge. You wonder whether your boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating Why? Why would you wonder? Why would you have doubts? Because you lack the knowledge to believe in his or her faithfulness. So that could be. I mean, don't write that for your TOK essay. If I was the examiner, I saw that, I would laugh, but I would not give you a lot of credits. But yeah, what my notion is that doubt is only or can only be exist because there's not enough knowledge to disprove or to consolidate that knowledge itself. That's why doubt is actually a reflection of the lack of knowledge rather than a outcome of more knowledge. I could argue that simply. But that is that. So, I mean, question 2 here is actually very, very simple. There are many approaches you can take. Some are more extreme than others. So, it depends on how you're going to build your argument. You want to develop knowledge question that can help you answer the final question. So you guys need to really, really be careful when setting your knowledge question. A lot of people ask, hey, Mr. Chu, or hey, Ringo, how do we set knowledge question? Well, knowledge question has to do with question asking about knowledge. I mean, I've seen so many TOK presentation where they ask a question that has nothing to do with knowledge, like I don't know. How does emotion affect ethics? Wait, what? Like, what knowledge are we asking? The knowledge gained in ethics, the production of knowledge in ethics? Be specific, define the question. So remember, knowledge question in a TOK essay should include most likely 2 to 3. And these 2 to 3 questions should be able to help you answer or build your arguments in which in the end, you can help answer the top or the prescribed title. So that is it for question 2. If you have any question, hit that subscribe, send me a comment, leave me a message, WhatsApp me if you have my number, Facebook me if you don't, and until next time, we will talk about question 3. Peace out for now.